Guys, I've spoken. By one vote on my Facebook poll, the majority has declared I should go to the Women's March. I'm a little tired from yesterday, but I'm determined to not let that stop me from doing exactly what I did before. I'm going to try and interview as many people as I can, try and get as diverse an opinion, and try and get a best idea of what the Women's March is like. I will do everything I can to be as open and honest, and feel free to ask me questions in the comments, anything that you might want me to expand upon or that I might have forgotten to include in this video. Alright, well, I'm very excited to see what's going to happen. It might be due to my own incompetence, or because I slept in an extra 30 minutes, but I can't seem to find the Women's March at the Capitol Mall. I looked on the website. I know it's one of the streets further away, but not quite able to locate it just yet. Don't you worry, I am determined to find it wherever it may be. Even if it takes me all day, I will find something like that, like a Women's March. Fairly certain I found it, what with all the tanks and stuff. You know, and stuff. Okay, I found it. I found the very, very beginning of the Women's March. Here's the best shot I can get right now. So, there's a couple of counter protesters right over there in the little area. That's all I'm able to find right now. So, yeah, here's pretty much what we got. Oh wow, that's a lot of media. There you go. I mean, that's the beginning of the Women's March. So I want to ask you, what brought you out?
I'm here with my family, my aunt.
Hello, family. Hello, Ann. Hello, cousins.
We all came together.
Very cool. So this is a family affair for you guys. Okay, very cool. So, well, I mean, some people come over, meet for for Thanksgiving or Christmas. That's the celebration. What exactly has brought you guys together today?
We're here for the Women's March and women's rights.
Okay.
The march.
So
Support women everywhere.
Okay. So what rights are you specifically marching for?
Reproductive rights, clean air and water, health care for all, end the shutdown.
Okay. So are all those issues women's issues? Exclusively.
Exclusively. Well, they affect women, they affect everyone, right?
Okay.
Anything that affects everyone affects women.
Okay. Thank you very much, guys. Out to the Women's March.
We were down here with friends this weekend, so we came to the march.
Okay, where are you originally from?
Connecticut.
Oh, very cool, very cool. So, what exactly brought you down? I mean, other than it's a social gathering with your friends.
Well, I think we're just looking to make a statement that women want to be recognized and that women's right to choose is important, and that it's time for some changes.
Okay, so what changes are you specifically looking at?
Well, I think we need fair representation of women, 50-50 in our legislatures and in our government. And people of color and young people need to be represented in our governing bodies as well. So I think the election of 2016 taught us a lot about people feeling excluded from the process.
So what do you believe you're going to do to rectify that? You said you're a professor earlier, right?
No, I'm not a professor, but I've worked starting an organization in Connecticut to elect more women.
Okay.
And we were able to elect I think 5 or 6 women, and 3 of them had never run before or thought about running before, and they knocked out incumbents in the Connecticut legislature, so that's sort of the kind of thing I'm working on.
So what makes women better representatives of women rather than male feminists?
Well, I think male feminists and women feminists are both equally important. Having served in elected bodies, I think we both bring our best and do our best, but each of us have different perspectives, and so it just brings a balance of perspective.
Okay. Thank you very much for your time. You guys over the Women's March. What brought you to the Women's March?
Well, I went to the one last year, and I am passionate about a lot of issues, and I like to march as a way to share my voice.
What are those issues that you're passionate about?
I'm passionate about equality and for not just women, but like intersectionally for trans and LGBTQ and for people of color and immigrants. And also, climate change is a big one for me because I get stressed out thinking about how the Earth is dying.
Okay, so you talked a little bit about equality and you want to protect equality. How do you believe feminists are, or the March for Women is protecting equality for all people?
Well, I think that the biggest way is to get our voice out there and show that we care about these things because there are people in the government who are willing to just look over people and not acknowledge their existence or their rights. And if women get out and if everyone gets out and says that they need the respect and that they deserve their own rights, then that's one thing that people have to notice us.
And how do you want to be the respect to be demonstrated?
I'm very pro-choice for one thing, and I think that that's one of the rights that women we have earned, and I'm worried it's going to be taken away. So
how is it earned? How are rights earned?
We fight for them. We get out here and we share our voice.
And how was it originally earned, and how is it kept?
It's kept by continuing to stand up, like representing and voting in government.
Okay, thank you very much. On a dance party of some kind. I think everyone spontaneously dances every 5 seconds at this march, so that's exactly what's going on. There's lots of spontaneous dances and things of that sort of nature going on all the time. So, yeah, basically everyone's dancing and cheering. So, guys, tell me, what brought you out to the Women's March today?
Well, for me, I want to stand up for women's rights and also the rights of all the people around the world. Equality for everybody, African Americans, Rohingyas, Uyghurs. So just standing for equality for everybody.
Okay. And how do you guys want to see those rights represented in government or whatnot?
Well,
how do you want to see equal rights actually as a policy? On paper, how do you want to see it?
I don't want us to provide foreign aid to corrupt governments around the world. For example, like Myanmar, where they're persecuting the Rohingyas, or with China because they're persecuting the Uyghurs. So I think we need to have foreign policy that represents the rights of other people.
Okay, so we have foreign policy. That's the first time I've heard anyone talk foreign policy at the march, so that's very fascinating. Anything domestic?
Domestic, equality for everybody, including African Americans. I think a lot of what we're seeing nowadays in our country is not representative of who we really are or for our country.
Or do you believe things like the 13th Amendment and other rights in the Constitution fall short? Where do you believe the Constitution falls short for
I know
African
there's
Americans?
a freedom of religion, and even though our country has the freedom of religion, there's still a big majority of our country that believes that you have to be Christian to be American, and that's not true. The Constitution gives all of us the right to practice whatever religion we want, and we can be American by even when you do that.
How many people would you say believe that?
One
third of all people that were surveyed
Really?
that actually believe that you have to be Christian to be American.
Really?
The founding fathers intended that they wouldn't have given everybody the right.
Well, where'd you hear that? I'd love to learn more into that.
Pew Research.
Pew Research. Okay, thank you very much. You guys, this has been great. Really tough to tell if there's more people here at the Women's March. I definitely can't make an estimate now, but that should give you a pretty good idea. Whoops.
We're here to give a voice to the voiceless.
So,
Women die in the womb every day.
so what you just told me you went to the March for Life. What brought you to the Women's March?
Because I'm a woman and I'm a proud woman, and it seems to be that the Women's March and the Women's Movement has no room really for women like me who are very proud to be a woman, but think abortion is a terrible wrong. Not only is it a terrible wrong to the human being inside the woman's womb, but also it's the ultimate exploitation to women. I truly believe that. I think it hurts women, and I think women deserve better.
Okay. So,
in a nutshell.
all right. Well, there's definitely a lot more pro-choice advocates here. You're really just one person. I mean, I saw
I
a
am
couple.
with a small group, but there's not very many of us.
Well, yeah. Even so, it's a small group. So, what necessarily brought you out here?
I want to give a voice to the voiceless. I want to give a voice to the little baby girls in the womb. I'm a proud, as I say, I'm a woman. I'm a proud woman, and I want to show people at the march here today to remember these little ones. Over 3,500 of these little ones die every day through abortion. So it's about them, but again, it's also about women. That women deserve better than abortion, and a lot of women here think abortion is a good. It's, for example, a lot of women think abortion is healthcare, and I'm here to show a different opinion.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for your time. Crowd shots. March has actually begun right about now. They have taken to the streets, and yeah, I mean, it's a march. People walk. It's not that much more to comment on. Oh, well, this is pretty important. See that big tower building right over there? That's the Trump Hotel. Let's get a closer look, shall we? Here's the Trump Hotel. You can tell there's quite a bit of security there, and obviously there's a lot of protesters. Who is this guy, Trump? It sounds kind of important. A lot of people don't like him. Wonder why that is. Clouds of civil war gather. Lots of basically every organizers out there. A couple of folks are out there. So, yeah. Just right, however, like 15, 20 feet away from me. Yeah, that's pretty cool, I guess. Wow, that's really cool. This is why they're being held up. Apparently some horse did a bit of a doo-doo. Oops. Well, I'm sure they're getting it cleaned up right now. So then the march will continue, I'm sure. So yeah, tell me, what are you out here doing?
I'm out here basically for Comic Relief, kind of supporting these women. It's a little, tense out here sometimes, especially with 800,000 federal workers not receiving a check. A lot of people don't know where their next meal is coming from. So I'm out here to bring a little joy, a little comedy.
Fun.
Take photos with the kids, stuff like that, and also advocate for rum instead of Trump. See, I cut off the T and I cut off the P.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Who are you dressed as? Jack Sparrow or Jack Sparrow?
Just the pirate in general.
Oh, very cool. Very cool. So it's a little ironic because pirates don't have the best history with women, but you're at the Women's March. Is there any, or you didn't think it through that far?
I'm a nice one. So,
yeah. Sure, Jack is too, I guess.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks a lot.
All right.
What brought you, not only you to the Women's March, but also your dog?
Socialization, and I've actually been accosted a couple of times. So my boyfriend told me I could get a male Doberman this time. He's only 10 months. He's been to 6 marches.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and so by this, you see all this noise going around. It gets him familiar with this tension and this panic. And so unless I'm panicking, he's not going to panic eventually. And if I'm accosted, then he can protect me.
Oh, that's wonderful. I'm glad to hear it. So what's the dog's name?
Atreyu.
Atreyu. That's great. Thanks. The anti-Semitism is not new. Do you need to explain it more? Could you talk to me more about why you brought that poster to the march?
Yeah, I think that with everything going on with Pittsburgh, and there's just been an uprising in anti-Semitic incidents in the last few years. And I think that there's this idea that anti-Semitism
that decided not to embrace the National Women's March on account of certain people being closely associated with anti-Semites like Louis Farrakhan.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
I think that women have a right to make their own choices. I made mine, not without a lot of thought and a lot of challenging conversations. But for me personally, I've decided that by coming as a Jewish woman, I'm going to show up for other women. Jews deserve a seat at the table, but so does every other type of woman and person. And we're not the only seat. So for me, I realized that I need to, stand with my fellow women. Muslim women, LGBT, like QIA people, trans folk. I need to stand with all women and not just
Armenian
Jewish
folk.
women. What? I'm sorry.
Armenian folk.
What? Sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
Armenian folk.
Armenian folk.
Absolutely. Yeah, because I'm
all
Armenian,
people.
we have to be friends by our very nature,
No, really, I think that's what it's all people. I think
Sure.
For me, that's kind of what brought me here. Though I still, I'm struggling with different things. I think I still need to be here.
Okay, well, thank you very much for
Yeah,
your time.
thank you. Have a good one.
You're at the, I don't know if you know this, but this is the March for Women. What are you doing here? The March for Life was yesterday.
Yeah, it was.
Well,
I'm a woman, and I would like to stand for these women, the unborn women.
a lot of the people I've been talking to talk about how pro-life people, what they do is they suppress women. How do you respond
How
to
is
that?
that?
Well, how do you respond to that? When
That
you,
we suppress women?
yeah, how do you respond
Well,
to that?
we don't murder them. That's the first
Okay.
response.
So a lot of, I can imagine that you're not the most popular kid out here at the march, but what brought you anyway?
I would just like to peacefully stand here and stand up for the unborn. They can't speak for themselves, so I would like to stand in. And I'd like to stand in for my daughter, I was hounded to abort her. She's 21 now, and she's healthy, and I love her. And I'd like to stand for life. March for life. Those people were marching for other people. So, are you going to use this like you're going to...
No, what? What? What were you talking about? What? Why would this be on YouTube? You just gave me one of these newspapers. Can you tell me more about it?
From Fight Back News, we're giving out newspapers that cover a variety of issues like labor rights and immigration rights. And on page 4, there's an article about Trump's war on women.
Oh, okay. So, what exactly is this newspaper based off of? Where'd you come up? Where'd you come up from? What brought this about?
I didn't found the newspaper, I just here giving them out.
Well,
But
what makes you so passionate to stand out here in the cold and hand it out?
it's a leftist, progressive organization fighting for human rights in all areas. And we're giving unbiased, real news, not fake news, not news about like building a border wall or like fake scares about immigration, but about real people and real problems.
Well, if it's leftist and a progressive bent, don't you think by that very nature it's biased towards leftist progressivism? Thanks for the interview. We basically did a loop around the block, and well, this is pretty much what the march looks like. They literally walk around the Pennsylvania building, right next to the Trump Hotel. So yeah, it's pretty much this. I don't know about on the other side of the Pennsylvania building how sparse it is, but they're just coming around right about now. So this is pretty much where the majority of the march is, right here.
But righteous brothers who are with us. My siblings, all my relations. I'm Johnetta Batch Cole. I have the amazing
with the land, with the waters, with the animals. That is what it means to be indigenous. It's time to take that back. That part of ourselves that has been taken from us.
Are you on the side where the video is?
It's tough to tell, but I do think that there's a few more counter-protesters here than at the March for Life. I would say so. It's really the perspective I have is pretty relative about the whole march. Obviously, to my view, the fact that we went around a block makes it extremely difficult to estimate whether there's a bigger crowd or not, because the March for Life, it was just an open field, a big giant open field, and it really felt like as though you could see how many people are there for yourself. Here, it's not quite that clear. There's people walking around. I have no idea how many people are just getting through or not participating in the march. I mean, there's the whole Freedom Plaza is pretty much filled. There's a couple people over there. I don't know what they're doing or how many of those people are over there. So this is a view of the counter protesters and what's going on. Thankfully, they look pretty safe. So it's good that there's strong Metro protection. Special thanks to the Metro Police and Washington, D.C. Police for making sure that everyone's safe. And this really was a peaceful protest, peaceful demonstration. Overall, I'm a little bit disappointed at even though there was a lot of opportunities where they condemned anti-Semitism and they showed support for Jewish folks, they didn't condemn Louis Farrakhan, which is the whole criticism of anti-Semitism in the first place. That was the basis of all the Women's March criticism. So, I mean, the fact that they didn't do that is kind of like, what's the point of saying that you like Jewish people if you won't condemn the one guy that's, the reason for the criticism of anti-Semitism? Anyway, that's just my 2 cents. I was getting kind of bored towards the end because they're basically repeating the same message that women are going to be in power, women are rising, and it's just different variations of that. So I left after Linda Sarsour spoke, so I figured, that's pretty much going to be the zenith of the march. I mean, I was surprised. I mean, I don't know, maybe there's going to be a surprise showing of Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez or someone like that. I don't know. Kind of like there was a surprise showing of Mike Pence at March for Life. Anyway, it was very interesting. I'm happy I got to talk with a lot of different people. So yeah, later on I'll make a video on my comparison between the two marches. What were they trying to accomplish? What I learned. And yeah, I hope that you'll stick around for that. Please make sure to comment, like, subscribe, and thanks. Bye.